Let's talk Alabama recruiting. The coaching staff and the fans, they're still picking up the pieces after that shocking loss to Vanderbilt. I got Tim Watts on from Bama Online. We're going to find out what impact that stunning loss had on recruiting. Also, Bama returns home this weekend. We're going to find out who's going to be on campus. But before we get into it, Alabama fans, do me a favor. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits page. We're not going to stop talking Alabama recruiting, so you might as well jump on board and hit subscribe. All right, let's bring on the great Tim Watts. So, Tim, how's the staff handling the loss to Vandy in terms of recruiting? I saw Dijon Lee, the five-star from Cali. He's already been on the phone with Kalen DeBoer in the wake of the loss. Are they being proactive? Are they reaching out to some of their top commits right now?
I think that's just their normal, method of operation. One thing they do really well is communicate with these guys. I don't think there was some panic. When these kids were committed, Alabama was seventh in the preseason. They lost the game. They're seventh currently. It's not like there's some big, four-loss season at the hand. So I think it fine. Kids have questions. I think they answer it, but they're really good about keeping up that communication, talking to them every week. And, if kids have questions or want to talk, they pick up the phone, very easily accessed.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it, but was there it's one game, and the week prior, they beat Georgia at home. So was there any uneasiness from a recruit in particular, or was it kind of everybody holding the line?
We're not aware of anybody that was panicked by that. I think probably shock for everybody, even people that aren't Bama fans or committed to Alabama's kind of shocked because, like you said, you beat Georgia the week before, you lose to Vandy the next week. That's about as much as a 180 as you can do as far as the SEC play goes. So I haven't heard of anybody concerned about, hey, they lost to Vandy, I'm out of here. I don't think that's really, these kids, you have to explain that on the roundtable message board a lot. The kids don't take it nearly the way the adults take it. It's a total adult reaction. I know that sounds funny, but kids are just so aloof and, even from their own games, they recover quicker than the parents do.
Yeah, I think a lot of that gets lost on the message boards. The high school players, they have their own locker room. They understand a loss. They understand a win. They understand what it means within that context, whereas fans on the message board tend to be a little extreme about wins and losses. So, yeah, it's kind of funny how recruits, you go and talk to the recruits after the loss, and they're kind of the voice of reason. So this weekend, though, Alabama gets a reset. They're back at home, back in the friendly confines in Tuscaloosa, and South Carolina comes to town. So is it important for the staff to try to get the commits and recruits back on campus for this weekend after a loss like last weekend?
No, I don't think so. It's 11 a.m. kickoff. A lot of those guys are playing until 11 p.m. at night or close to it. You play a 7 o'clock kickoff. 3-hour game, you get home, you get showered, you hang out with your girlfriend or your friends. It's close to midnight on Friday. And then to get up the next morning at 6 maybe to get to Tuscaloosa is sort of a hard pull anyways. Most 11 o'clock games don't have a lot of visitors. Now, I do think there will be a lot of visitors. There'll be a fair amount of visitors, but I think a lot of it could be underclassmen. And that's probably good because that's your chance to get – because, of course, you're paying the most attention to the seniors. Yeah. So it's a good time to get to know the younger guys a little bit better. They get a little bit more one-on-one time. And also, you never know. We've seen surprise visitors show up late. It's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week. There's still decisions to be made. Some of these guys think they're going places they're not. Some haven't decided where they're going to go.
Yeah, we'll probably see some late additions to that list. And you're right, this is a time to kind of start working ahead on those 26, 27 targets. Good weekend to do that. All right, I saw on the website this week, there's an ACC flip target that's trending in Alabama's direction. Tim, I want to talk to you about Marshall Pritchett. He's 6'5", 220-pound tight end from Georgia who's committed to North Carolina. What's the latest on him in terms of his recruitment to Alabama?
It's been interesting because Alabama has Caleb Edwards committed, a big tight end from California. He's a big 250. They list him at 250. I've been watching his high school games. He's absolutely a monster. He's going to end up in line. BOL's reported the whole time they would take a second tight end. They want, you want that yin and yang type deal if you do that. Two different guys, two different skill sets. Marshall falls along those lines. Committed to North Carolina, as you said. Alabama he's taking an official visit to Alabama, unofficial visit to Alabama back in March or April, whenever it was. And then he came for the Georgia game. So there's been communication there. But at the same time, Andrew Olish, Alabama's still recruiting him. So this could just be a case of whoever decides to take that spot first. I think they do want to add that second guy to complement Caleb Edwards as far as skill sets go.
All right, Tim, any other flip targets that Alabama fans should be aware of right now?
I think Donovan Stars one. He's committed to Auburn. He's had a good senior year. He's had a lot of people recruiting him, paying attention. He's mentioned possibly taking a visit to Alabama. Courtney Morgan went out and saw him, extended an offer after watching him play. So he's a guy we're keeping an eye on. Obviously, he's committed to Auburn. A lot of schools showing him that attention. And maybe they want to add another defensive back because they still got to add safeties in this class, whether it be prep guys or the portal. But I think they're adding another corner. Got some of that position flexibility with a lot of these guys because they could slide into that nickel, maybe even, drift out to the safety position. So I think Stars one we're also watching.
All right, Bama fans, we got a bounce back weekend. Talk to me, comment section below. How we feeling about recruiting? It's just one loss, right? Recruiting's still going to roll on. Talk to me, comment section below.